station that's on your side. This is News 12, first at 5.
Stormy afternoon ahead of us. We've got First Alert meteorologist Anthony Carpino here with a look at this radar that's lighting up this afternoon. Yeah. Anthony, what can you tell us?
Yeah, we're going to talk about more storms, Laura, as we go through this evening. Our southern counties earlier this afternoon got a good chance at seeing a lot of those heavier showers and thunderstorms. Fortunately, places like Millen and down in Screven County, as well as in Emmanuel County, now actually getting a little bit of a relief there with the less amount of rainfall. All of that, though, is getting closer to the Augusta metro area, but by Gibson, going all the way down through Mitchell and even Warren, also seeing some more of that steadier showers. Sparta, some thunderstorm activity, plenty of lightning out there as well. We've also noticed this one little band of showers forming just along the western branch of Clarks Hill Lake. These are going to continue to push off to the north as we go through the next couple of hours, and even Saluda County. We still have that aerial flood advisory in effect until 6:45 this evening, and that flood watch goes in effect until tomorrow morning as well. So we're going to keep a close eye on these storms as we go through the next couple of hours. I want to take you quickly outside over the Beach Island camera. We really have a good view of those storms starting to work their way into the Augusta area. Right now, everything is on the drier side, and we're talking about that humidity still up there a little bit, so it feels a few degrees warmer than the actual temperature. Where we've seen the rainfall, we've cooled down into the low 70s in Millen, mid 70s in Swainsboro, and we're likely only falling back into the upper 60s and low 70s for tomorrow morning. We'll talk more about that forecast coming up in just a few minutes, but first, we'll get an update on First Alert traffic.
And now, First Alert traffic.
I will take you back over to Beach Island, where we actually have a pretty good view of that thunderstorm moving through. So just a reminder, if you are driving out there and you end up getting underneath one of those good thunderstorms, just make sure you take it a little bit slow as you're heading out there this afternoon. The view over beach over downtown Augusta, where we do have pretty cloudy skies right now, and we're also talking about the regular traffic conditions there in Grovetown at I-20. We'll talk more about that forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Anthony. We're learning today Columbia County Marshal and deputy are back home and out of the hospital after being hit by a car yesterday afternoon during a call. Happened at the Circle K on Fury's Ferry Road near Evans to Locks Road. Officials say both will be okay, thankfully. But our Nick Veland spoke with a friend of the marshal, David Willis, who says he loves the community.
Police say a car tried to escape from right here, leading to two officers getting hit with the suspect's car. And now both officers are recovering. The community now is rallying around them and letting it be known that these officers have served this community all their lives. From this pic of Chris Robertson jumping someone's car, to David Willis being a part of a superhero group that visits kids in the hospital. Brian Williams has been David Willis's friend for 10 years, and Williams says that Willis is the nicest guy he knows.
David is a friend to everybody he meets. He's just a good person. He's cops kind of get a bad rap right now, but David is like the perfect example of someone that you would want to be friends with, someone that you would want to protect you.
And coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, I'll have more from friends and family following what happened right here yesterday. In Columbia County, Nick Veland on your side.
Thankful they are expected to make a full recovery, and the suspect accused of injuring Willis and Deputy Christopher Robertson is in jail with a bond set at just over $100,000. She's facing charges of aggravated assault and willful obstruction. 3 murder suspects in 2 separate Augusta killings are now in jail. 19-year-old Kenneth Williams and 18-year-old Vincent Moultrie are accused of murdering 24-year-old Usaini Yunusa on St. Andrews Drive and Perimeter Drive back in late April. 18-year-old Ike Lang also arrested with Moultrie. He's accused of killing a 15-year-old at the Get and Go convenience store on Windsor Spring Road. A wrongful death lawsuit filed against the Department of Social Services after a 3-year-old boy died after being left inside a hot car in June. It all happened in 2021 in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Jacob Mudis's foster mom says she thought she dropped him off at daycare, and she ran several errands while he was still in the back seat. When he was found, the vehicle was 114 degrees. Now Jacob's biological mother is suing DSS as well as the caseworkers and supervisors involved in his placement.
The pain that she's going through as a mother, I mean, as an aunt, it's killing me. It really is. Our whole family is just shook by this, and it's a horrific tragedy. It should have never happened. It was just a blessing to be around. It's never a dull moment.
DSS has not commented on the lawsuit. The special session for South Carolina lawmakers is likely over after about 5 weeks of work, and with it comes a six-figure price tag, with taxpayers footing the bill. State House reporter Mary Green explains just how much it'll cost.
South Carolina's regular legislative session runs from mid-January to mid-May each year. This year, the governor called the General Assembly back for a special session that kept them here in Columbia on and off for another 5 weeks. And every day lawmakers were at work, they were getting paid. Legislators received $260 each day they were in Columbia on official business during the special session. Every member also got another $223 a day they were in session to cover meals and lodging, regardless of whether they live a block from the State House or hours away, plus a weekly mileage reimbursement to drive back and forth from Columbia. Over the course of the 5-week special session, that added up to a nearly $310,000 price tag. Governor Henry McMaster called the special session for the General Assembly to finalize the state budget, enact tighter abortion restrictions, pass a bond reform bill, and toughen up the penalties for illegal gun possession. They got 3 out of the 4 done, though the governor has said the bond reform bill that reached his desk wasn't as strong as he wanted it to be.
Whatever the cost is if we get good things done, the cost is well worth it.
But Democratic Representative Gilda Cobb-Hunter believes everything they took up during the special session could have waited until they returned in January or been finalized earlier in the year had they made a point to get it done.
I don't think it had value. I'm sure there are others. Clearly, the leadership in this chamber disagreed with that, but I didn't. I thought it was a waste of taxpayers' dollars, quite frankly.
Governor McMaster says calling the General Assembly back here to finalize those illegal gun penalties later this year is still a possibility. But barring unforeseen circumstances, leaders in the General Assembly say they don't plan to return here to Columbia until next January, when a new legislative session begins. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
And those payments lawmakers received are on top of the nearly $11,000 annual salary they get for serving, along with monthly payments to cover in-district expenses. A petty act by a Georgia business owner is coming back to bite. Last year, Miles Walker paid one of his employees his final wage by dumping more than 91,000 oily pennies in his driveway in Peachtree City. Now, court records show Walker is being ordered to pay nearly $40,000 in additional back wages for retaliation. Thankfully, that money won't have to be paid in pennies. Just an hour ago, congressional leaders unveiled the new stamp honoring the late Georgia Representative John Lewis. The late congressman served the Peach State from 1987 until his death in July of 2020. Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Democratic Majority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, U.S. Postal Master General Louis DeJoy, and Lewis's son all spoke at that unveiling. Critics of Atlanta's future police training center now filing a lawsuit in hopes of bringing that decision to the public to vote on, just ahead how Georgia's capital city is responding.
And as you're heading out the door this evening, we've been keeping an eye on the showers and storms now getting closer to the Augusta metro. Here's the view from Grovetown. A few of those storms now looking a little bit more intense as they get closer to us. We'll talk more about these storms and when we could finally see some drier weather coming up in the full forecast.
It's not 1, not 2, but 8 trees cut down here at the Aiken Farmers Market. And all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're hearing from the city about why they say this shouldn't have happened and how the community is feeling.
Time.com.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Here's a live look outside over Beach Island where we have that wall of showers and storms getting closer to the camera. This is 750 feet up, so it's a pretty incredible view there. For us in Augusta, we're still dry, but as you can see, that's quickly about to change for us. 80 degrees right now, feeling more like 83. You can see how close these storms are getting to us. These actually have picked up speed from earlier. They were about 25 miles per hour. That's gone up a good bit. These weren't supposed to get here until closer to about 6 o'clock, so about 30-40 minutes early there. Now, as we continue through this evening, we'll notice more of those showers and storms continuing to push off to the north. So right now, a lot of more intense showers and storms going on from Rennes all the way up Highway 1 near Fort Gordon and then into McDuffie County as well. So just places outside of Harlem, Thompson, and then going out further to the west, more storm activity there. For us in Augusta, we're still dry, but that's getting very close for us right now, and we still have that aerial flood advisory there for Saluda County until 6:45. So rain chances this evening, they're going to stay a little bit more elevated, especially over the next hour or two here, and then start to go down a little bit by about 8, 9 o'clock, and then only to go back up a little bit later on this evening, past midnight, and all the way through the early morning hours of Thursday. So later on this evening, temps will stay mild into the 70s and 60s, and the chance for showers still being with us all the way through about midnight. A little bit drop in those rain chances, but then they'll go back up for tomorrow morning. Here's a look at the hour-by-hour forecast as we continue through the next few hours. We'll see those heavy storms start to push past the Augusta area off to the north. A little bit of a break in the rain chances, then that will fill back in as we go through tomorrow morning. More scattered showers through tomorrow afternoon, and then we'll notice the chance for some showers redeveloping as we go through portions of the afternoon on Friday. But the overall rain chance for Friday is going to be a little bit lower than Thursday, and even Saturday looks to be drier than Friday. So we're trending in the right direction there, but over the next 2 days, we still could pick up a couple of inches of rainfall, especially if you receive back-to-back scattered showers and thunderstorms. So a slight risk for flash flooding both today as well as tomorrow. That's that level 2 threat. That drops to a level 1 for Friday, and then we actually get out of the flood threat for both Saturday and Sunday. So definitely like to see that there. You can see the rain chances really going down by Sunday, and most of Sunday should actually end up being on the drier side. Here's the reason why. This area of low pressure that's been bugging us all week, this is going to continue to push back to the north. High pressure will slowly try to build in from the west. That's what's giving Texas all of that very intense heat. We're feeling more like the triple digits there. Not going to have to worry about that kind of heat, but seasonal highs will return as we get through portions of next week. So that's upper 80s and lower 90s and lower rain chances. So isolated storms for Sunday not going to be ruled out, but looks like most folks are going to stay dry there. Upper 80s for the weekend, then those 90s return starting on Monday, and a few storms possible for next week.
We are following breaking news. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office says they've arrested a suspect in connection to a deadly crash on the 10th. Authorities say 68-year-old Alvin Percival is charged with felony homicide by vehicle. This happened while authorities say he was traveling on I-520. Deputies say Percival was under the influence of alcohol, and he was following the car too closely, leading to a 6-car pileup that killed 32-year-old Yayika Chandler. Protests continue over the controversial police training center being built outside of Atlanta. The city's law enforcement says they need it to continue protecting the city and training more police officers, while opponents say it is not needed and will militarize an already over-policed city. Patrick Quinn shows us the latest steps protesters are taking.
Stop Cop City!
We heard the cries on city streets and in council chambers. Now opponents of the Public Safety Training Center now taking their battle to the city clerk.
Is the clerk available? Is she in?
No, she is in.
Okay. Do you know when she will be available?
Critics of so-called Cop City are upset their petition to add the issue of building the Public Safety Training Center on the November ballot has not been approved by the city clerk.
And that was due back to us last Wednesday.
Okay, they know the longer it takes to get approval, the less time they have to collect more than 70,000 signatures to be qualified for a ballot referendum.
So this tactic that we're seeing today, that we've seen for the last week, is blatantly to delay that process. So that it makes us harder, the people of Atlanta, it makes it harder for us to collect the signatures.
The interim city clerk, Vanessa Walden, did not get back to me and was busy overseeing today's council meeting for much of the afternoon. But one source sent me the clerk's latest email to opponents saying their petition was incomplete, lacking a date of birth line for potential signees and other technical errors. Critics say the city has, quote, illegally stonewalled their petition process. And this week, they filed a lawsuit to ask the courts to interfere. With construction on the training facility set to start in August and the November election fast approaching, critics know to stop the project, time is not on their side.
So with these delay tactics, they're trying to push this election farther and farther back as a way to disrupt the momentum that we have going on now that more and more people are getting involved.
Opponents of the facility say they have 80 people who have signed up to help collect signatures. According to the city, the training center is set to have a soft opening next December. We'll have more News 12 right after this break.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Lexus Acura Infinity.
Are you too hot? Beat the summer heat with a window AC unit from Davis Appliance and Furniture for as low as $299. We offer a cool, no credit needed financing options to meet your needs. With a brand new trust at the lowest prices in town, visit us at Davis Appliance and Furniture.
When you're hurting an accident.
Welcome to Davis Appliance and Furniture, where you can find the best deals in town. We offer new and used appliances, and we service what we sell. We offer no credit needed financing and delivery options to meet your needs. For the top brands at the lowest prices in town, visit us at Davis Appliance and Furniture.
Despite being the ones to actually write prescriptions, many doctors say they lack true control over what medications their patients are able to take, thanks to so-called insurance middlemen. Our national investigative team dug into benefit plans and asked industry experts about the complicated system of getting medication covered. Here's Lee Zurich with permission to prescribe.
Doctors' offices across the country strangled by red tape.
There's so many things wrong with this system.
It seems simple. Go to the doctor. An expert identifies a medical problem and hopefully finds a solution. But that's when the system can take over. A network of people and policies outside the office that influence and even overrule that doctor's professional opinion. A convoluted system of red tape. Mike Phillips got caught up in the red tape. He remembers days in his early 40s when he felt twice his age.
The back hurts, the arms hurts, the knees hurt, you can't stand up, it's hard to sleep, all of those things.
Doctors diagnosed him with psoriatic arthritis, an inflammatory autoimmune disease that has no cure, but can be managed with medication. His doctor found the right medication that got control of his symptoms, until his family had to change insurance companies, and he learned the drug that worked would no longer be covered.
They never gave me any medical justification for the switch whatsoever.
Phillips had to change drugs because his new insurance had a different list of medicines it would cover, called a formulary. These lists are put together for insurance companies by pharmacy benefit managers, middlemen controlling which prescriptions get paid for, meaning sometimes what patients are able to take is in direct opposition to what a doctor thinks is best.
It's a financial decision instead of a medical decision.
It's 100% a financial decision.
The PBMs, these middlemen, were designed to create buying power for insurers. Their argument, they save money by securing the lowest net cost for medications.
And then in those instances where there's robust competition in a particular therapeutic area, right? So there's several different drug manufacturers making a treatment for a particular condition, and they all work equally well, then the PBM can use some of those process steps to try and encourage the physician and the patient to look to the most affordable, most effective option first.
Our analysis of standard drug plans published online by the 3 largest PBMs found examples of drugs preferred by one PBM but excluded by others, and found even for those usually cheaper generic medicines, there can be restrictions or hoops to jump through.
And people have said, yes, they're practicing medicine without a license. Well, their answer to that is, doctor, you can prescribe whatever you want. We're not telling you what to prescribe. We're just telling you what we'll pay for.
But financial decisions have physical consequences.
I've had patients that have lost control of their disease. I've had patients that have had to go on higher doses of steroids, and their blood sugar goes up, their blood pressure goes up.
PBMs claim these situations are outliers.
So you think these are exceptions that we're talking about?
I do.
But doctors across the country have told federal regulators the red tape put in place by PBMs is hurting their patients.
It's not against the law. As I like to call it, it's perfectly legal and perfectly wrong.
And patients like Mike Phillips are left tangled up in the debate over who really has permission to prescribe.
And when you're dealing with things like I'm dealing with, your autoimmune disorder, and there's no medical justification behind it, switching for money just isn't a good reason to switch.
And there are ongoing efforts by lawmakers at the state and federal level to rein in the power of PBMs and cut through some of that red tape, including rules that would prevent companies from forcing patients to switch medications out of the blue. The PBM trade group argues these rules will increase healthcare costs and that the way to go is improving technology. One solution they propose, getting patient electronic medical records accessible across all healthcare providers and insurance companies.
All right, as you're heading out the door this evening, get ready, Augusta. We have that line of showers and storms on our doorstep. South Augusta now seeing some rain starting to start. This is now going to move into downtown over the next 20 to 25 minutes. Another radar check when we come back.
There is a full moon in June. Milton Ruben Toyota.
Shanty can fix your sinking sidewalks, driveways, and pool decks safely. Get a faster, affordable alternative to your sinking concrete today. Call Canty Foundation Specialists for your free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
There's so many options when it comes to choosing a personal injury lawyer.
Some claim to get you big bucks, and some say they never lose. So how do you choose?
We say, at the end of the day, it's not about us, it's about you.
It's about you.
At the Eichholz Law Firm, we will work to get you the justice you deserve.
At CSRA.
Some good news for you. All the Eagle surveys in Georgia show the iconic Raptors are at healthy rates this year. That includes in coastal areas where the population was suffering last spring. DNR monitors Georgia's Eagles twice a year by helicopter to make sure our national bird is faring well. Back in the 70s, Georgia had no successful eagle nests, none. So today that number sits at around 200. And wildlife experts say they hope those numbers continue to climb.
Absolutely, and that is a good jump there, 0 to 200.
Yeah.
So we'll take that for sure. All right, you're heading out the door this evening. We got some good thunderstorms out there. This is the view looking west in Grovetown, so a good thunderstorm there. Thompson, you're seeing a lot of heavy rainfall right now, and this line of showers is expected to move through the downtown area within the next about 20 to 25 minutes. Augusta Regional seeing some more moderate showers, continuing all the way up through Windsor Spring Road. South Augusta seeing some good steady rain. Here's that thunderstorm over Thompson. Definitely some heavier showers and storms. These are going to continue to move up northern sections of McDuffie County as well into northern sections of Columbia County. So be prepared for some more rain as you're heading out the door this evening. Those rain chances are going to stay pretty high for us, about an 80% chance there, and then slowly start to go back down as we get closer to about 8, 9 o'clock. More rain, though, is going to be possible a little bit later on this evening. So any plans that you have, just make sure you have that umbrella ready to go. We'll notice those temperatures falling back down into the 60s as we continue through portions of tomorrow. So over the next 7 days, we will notice those temperatures starting to actually warm up. The chance for showers will actually go down as we get closer to both Saturday and Sunday. Those temperatures right around 89 to 90 degrees, and we'll see those storm chances staying low through a good majority of next week.
All right, don't go anywhere. We're back with more news and weather coming up right after this break.
I'm attorney George Sink. My law firm